Okay, it's been a while since I last made a video, so here we go. All right, so what I end up doing with the 1299 Panigale S is I changed the spring rate. I did several track days on this bike, and I couldn't feel the rear end at all. It's like riding on cinder blocks, and I understand, most people was like, oh, you gotta ride harder to feel it. I was like, that's too much for me. you know, as hard as it is being, on a 1298 cc motorcycle. But anyway, I need feedback on both the front end and the rear end. The front end, I feel a lot of feedback. I could feel the suspension moving, diving, and all the other good stuff. And the rear end, it just feel like it's just straight like cinder blocks. Doesn't move, doesn't bounce, doesn't do anything. So that kind of got me a little bit worried. I remember at VIR, I went into the kink full throttle, and the bike wouldn't turn. So I was like, what is going on here? I push as hard as I can, and it just wouldn't, turn. So, and a lot of people will tell you, like, oh, the kink isn't a real turn. I was like, well, the kink at VIR is a real turn if you go fast enough, extremely fast enough. So, I think at that time I went fast enough to actually made it into a turn, and it wouldn't turn. So, yeah. Anyway, I end up removing the stock spring, which is a 90. Now, as you can tell, this is now an 80. So the 80 spring rate is rated for 160-pound rider to a 85-pound rider. I'm somewhere below that in a way, because I weigh like $138, $140 plus weight and stuff like plus gear, added the weight and all the other stuff, it would be like close to 160, somewhere there. So sorry, my math could be off a little bit, but yeah, I think this spring rate will serve its purpose. And then it's not exact to, I got a heavier spring rate than what I weigh, because number one, right, as fast as I go, I might need that extra, a heavier spring rate, but I don't want to go overboard with a 210, which is the 90 spring rate was for. It's like 210s, so I don't know the range for the 210, but it's obviously too much. So yeah, so removing it is relatively easy. What I end up doing was I remove all of these guys just to see what's going on, and then of course I removed this bolt. It's a T Allen wrench, actually, excuse me, Allen wrench, and then there's another Allen wrench right here. So you remove that, and then of course you have to lift the tank up. So what I ended up doing is remove the seat. There's two Allen wrench bolt here. They're smaller than these guys, of course. They're real small. They're small, and then after that there's two nuts. Remove the two nuts. After that, you're gonna go ahead and remove these. 1, 2, 3, 4. This whole thing just pops up. And then once you got the seat out and those 4 bolts out, you lift up the tank. It will pivot and then give you enough room. And the only hard part about this is these connectors right here. Apparently the module right here is kind of tight, and yeah, once you lift this up, it gives you a little bit good room to actually access it to remove it. And they're connected by these connectors. You might need a small screwdrivers to press the latch mechanism down so that it could just slide out. So after that happened, I ended up removing this, and of course to remove the spring itself, you need a spring compression tool, which I did not have. So I ended up going to what do they call it, they changed the name. It's now Richmond Moto. So they sell Triumphs, was it not MV Augusta, but Moto Guzzi's, KTM. So I went there, hang out with them. They were able to do the job for me for like $50. So they charged me an hour for it, but you know, it didn't take them an hour, so they charged me whatever it took them to do. So it was about 30 minutes. So you know, God bless them. Thank God I didn't have to pay like all that money. But anyway, yeah. So it's I took it out for a ride earlier today without the sack setup for it. I felt the rear end kind of slide a little bit, which is great. I need that feedback, you know. Without any feedback on the rear end, you know, good or bad, I like. If I have no feedback, that's a problem. You know, maybe it's just me as I'm a how should I call myself? A feeling rider. You know, most people will jump on a bike and just ride it as it is, but I can't do that. I mean, you know, it's your bike. You have to feel the bike, feel every inch of it. You know, like as in like how everything should be. The front, I think it's set up too soft, cause at VIR during the roller coaster there was some nose dive, pogo stick happening on the roller coaster. You know, I want to figure out that the next time I go into the VIR, but you know, step number one is to get the bike as comfortable as you can on it. So yeah, all right, I'll catch y'all later.